unique time when you're here, and just dive in head first and go for it.
Well, this isn't your first, right? You've been here before?
Yeah, this is my second LeakyCon.
Second, okay.
And I feel that the thing about LeakyCon is just, it feels so family orientated, and everyone's just so kind and friendly and just of the world. So yeah.
How's it comparing to last time?
This time is bigger, and I think it's because it's the 10th anniversary.
Right.
So and it's been brought back to Boston, which is great, and it feels a lot more like home. Wow. And I think that's mostly due to the weather. It's like been a bit, a bit rainy and grey outside. But no, it's just lovely. Everyone here is so kind and just knowledgeable as well.
Well, we were at the panel this morning, and I loved that you mentioned the weather. It's a shame you weren't here like a week ago when New England. It was like in the 90s in New England, so which you probably would not have enjoyed either.
Just it was a bit too much. Is it humid on this side? Kind of like how New York gets.
I don't know if it was humid, but the heat definitely probably not right. But loved the panel this morning, and I was particularly interested in the voiceover work that you've been doing. So 7 projects.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's really picked up actually, which is something that was quite surprising. As a kid, I always loved doing. Just like love watching cartoons and animated movies and things like that, and always thought that it was something I would want to do, but never thought I'd have access to it. And the jobs just kind of came up, and then once one hit, which was about 3.5 years ago almost, and I've been working on that for Nickelodeon, and I cannot say what it is yet, and it's so good. And then after that, they all just started to roll in.
Well, that's what I was wondering, because it seems like the kind of niche work that you would have to pursue, but it was like for you, it was more like it just fell into place.
Kind of. It took a long time. It took me about 6 years to book my first voiceover gig, and it's because there's so many people who are submitting all the time, and because it is a niche area of the market.
It's Mark Hamill. He's taking them all.
I know. And it's like, you've had Star Wars, isn't that enough?
Right.
Like I know I've done like Harry Potter and stuff, but like let's have some jobs for us too. But no, it is very niche. But once you're in, I feel like you're kind of in the circles. And
that's amazing. Well, we're looking forward to when you can finally reveal that, because we will definitely be covering it, and then it'll be everywhere. So look for that. Now we want to hear the owl. Can you please do the owl voice?
I'll just do a little bit. I'm very shy. I'm very shy.
No, don't be shy.
Like, so my name's Doe, and I'm an owl, and I'm scared sometimes, and it's kind of how I talk.
So yeah, just really high and cute. I like to try to be cute.
It's very cute. It's very cute. I also, so in the panel this morning, you also mentioned, of course, being close with James and Oliver Phelps, and all that probably brought with it, and the trouble that you got into, the scar story. I loved it. Can you give us any more about the pranks, or in particular some things that you remember?
One thing that does come to mind was Danielle, who played Angelina, and Rochelle, who's also in the Quidditch team. It was kind of like them against us. And so we would just play tricks on each other. Sometimes they'd sneak into, like, we'd be down on set, and they weren't, and they'd sneak into our dressing room, like hide our clothes, and then we'd come back after that. It's like, where's all the stuff gone? And then it was vice versa. And I was like, man, I need to really come up with something.
What, did you win? That's the question.
I like to think that we won, but I will say that it was pretty evenly matched.
Was it?
Yeah. They were good. Yeah, they were very creative.
We want some of those stories too.
I can't remember what they did now, but I remember one time I was asking Alfie, who played Dean Thomas, because he and I used to share a dressing room. I was like, Alfie, you have to really help me out here, because like, everything is so taken care of on set. I was like, you have to pretend that you've had an accident, because I came back into our dressing room and they had literally uprooted a tree and put it in the room. And I was like, you have to pretend that you tripped over and poked your eye out on this tree that somehow...
That's what you were talking about with the poking the eye out?
Yeah, exactly. Made its way into our dressing room. And because he's so, like, Alfie is one of the nicest people you will ever meet. he just couldn't.
He couldn't lie. He couldn't do it.
No.
Oh, Alfie.
And I'm not condoning lying, guys, but when it's like against Danny and Rochelle, sometimes you just have to do it a little bit. So yeah, that joke lasted for about 5 minutes, and then Alfie gave it away.
Okay, well that's a shame.
Yeah,
it's nice that you won though. Now on the panel, you also talked about if the Harry Potter universe was expanded, and you got to explore that a little bit more, we might see some Weasleys and Lee Jordan, something like that. We were chatting about it last night and thought Potter Watch could also be a really interesting way to go.
Yes, actually.
Have you thought about what the backstory for that could potentially be?
I haven't thought about what the backstory for that could potentially be until you just asked me right now. So thinking on my feet here, I just feel that because the time that Potter Watch and everything came around was such, it was born out of such dark times. And everyone in that moment was just trying to do whatever they could, knowing that this thing is going to come to a head and we have to do whatever it takes. And I think all the secret communications that were going on and things, and Lee, and being who he is, and also with the assistance of Fred and George, I feel that there would be some type of just bravery, and they'd want to go out swinging if it ever came down to it, which is why they're trying to, I guess, just let the masses know. And I think that would be a really, very interesting offshoot, because the world of that is so much bigger than just Harry, that there's going to be so many stories of so many families affected by, all these dark wizards and witches that are going around wreaking havoc.
I mean, right, we hear about Harry because we care about Harry, but how many other witches and wizards were on the run or being persecuted, and those stories could be told. Totally. Definitely.
Totally.
Were there any plans at the time of filming to maybe show a little bit more of that? Or
I think with the world within the books was so rich, and it was such a shame because we were talking earlier that some major characters had been cut out entirely from the series, and it was because there was just not enough time to be able to cram everything in. Because I think I overheard that the original cut of the first movie was 4.5 hours long, and it was already a long movie at I think around 2.5 hours, and so they just had to chop and change things around, and I think just to tell the most streamlined story for people to be able to sit down in a theatre.
And you're thinking, you divided it into 2 parts. Could we not have had a little more Lee Jordan?
I know, I was like, oh, come on. But no, I get it, and I think just creatively, there's a lot of decisions that have to be made.
Right, in terms of timing and keeping the pacing up and moving the story along.
Totally.
Right. Well, it's a shame because we would love to have seen that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, continuing to talk about Lee, because we love Lee, and he's a completely underrated character. But what do you personally relate to most about Lee Jordan?
I think him being quite outspoken and just going for it. I'm pretty similar in my regular life, and just very energetic and kind of jokey. I think those are the qualities that I possess myself, and I think that was one of the things that booked me the role in the first place.
Okay, interesting. Well, Dan Fogler was talking this morning about his love for Star Wars and these other major franchises. So I'm just curious, are there any other major franchises that you really love? I mean, second, way down on the list of of course.
Yes.
But do you have any other favorites?
I do, and they're probably going to be ones that are unexpected. I really like Jurassic Park.
Oh! That's fantastic.
I recently went to see it again on the big screen, and it just transported me back to the moment of, and these things, I remember the poster saying 6 million years in the making. I thought that was such creative marketing, but you really felt these things are real and they're moving around, and I just like that fantastical world that existed in where we live right now. And so yeah, I really enjoy Jurassic Park.
I love that you said that, and that's probably something our fans didn't know. So they love the new details. So when you go to Universal, have you been?
Yes, I have.
Of course you've been.
Loads of times.
So when you go to Universal, Jurassic Park is your second stop?
One of them. I do like The Mummy as well, which I guess is another franchise.
Yes.
I like the first two movies, but that's just a high octane ride. Like the bigger, the better. Screaming like at the top of my lungs. Let's do it.
Now, what's your favorite part of the Universal Park?
Obviously, the Wizarding World.
Well, right.
One.
So within the Wizarding World, what's the thing you have to do when you're there?
I think this is going to sound strange, but I think a lot of people will agree with me. Queuing up for the ride called the Forbidden Journey, I think it really is the best part of the entire park, because you really are in Hogwarts, like you're in the castle, and you're walking around. There's things to see, and you're kind of interacting with the characters. And as a person who has luckily been able to see it firsthand, you're actually in it because there aren't all these lights and cameras and things like that. You are existing in the real space.
So it feels more immersive even for you. Wow.
Yeah, totally.
That's amazing. So, as someone who, as you said, was on set, does it feel that good? I mean, it's that close, really, to what the set was like?
100%. And I think everybody who in the cast who has been, and even crew and behind the scenes and everything, they will agree that it is just spot on. It's spot on. It's astonishing.
That's amazing. When was the last time you went?
I want to say, it was for an event, I want to say maybe 2 years ago. Because Diagon Alley had just opened, and so they had an event and we were able to be in the park after everybody left. And so we're in Diagon Alley at night, and the dragon's up on top of Gringotts breathing fire. It was spectacular.
Oh, that's amazing.
But it was nice to kind of have that world, and then also have the Hogsmeade area, and taking the train between the two.
Yeah.
The train. Have you done the train?
Yes, I have done the train. The first time I went, I didn't pay for it. And then the second time I was like, I have to do this.
Yeah.
I mean, the Hogwarts Express, it's part of the experience.
Totally.
It's going to happen. It's amazing. Do you have plans to go back?
I want to, yeah.
You have to go back.
I just love theme parks as well. So anytime someone's like, oh, do you want to go to a theme park? I'm like,
you're like,
yeah.
yes, absolutely. Sign me up. Okay, so wrapping up, is there anything else that you want to tell us about? I know you can't reveal tidbits about your projects, and that's okay, but I love that you're excited.
I'm super excited. One of them is going to come out next month on Netflix.
Wow, okay.
And that's a big one. The next one is going to come out in Q1 or Q2 of 2020, and that's also going to be on Netflix. And then at the end of the year is the one for Amazon, Do Re and Mi, which I'm doing. And the video games, I can't talk about. One has just been announced. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that.
If it's just been announced, how have we not heard about it?
Well, you may have.
Okay.
Yeah, you may have.
I need to go look for this.
But yeah, none of the cast has been announced yet.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's that. And then the last one, my lips are sealed because I will get sued.
Well, we don't want that. We do not want that.
But it's very, very, very exciting. A lot of people will be extremely happy about it.
Wonderful. We're so looking forward to that. Thank you so much, Lee. I really appreciate you chatting with us. From the Leaky Cauldron, this was Lee Jordan. Sorry, you're so much Lee Jordan.
It's fine, I took it. It's alright.
Wow.
I'm just so glad that my character was so compelling that,
it really was. Yeah. Thank you again.